Anyway,
Uh,
this is the stuff that makes it different,
yeah,
when
that's
we
true.
talk about it. It is what it is. Have you started yet?
Of course, we have. You can
Oh,
see
yeah.
that.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It's
We
on
are
you.
professionals.
Very professional.
Uh,
Okay. USA Grand Prix. Initial reaction. My initial reaction is that I don't think it was that great of a race. In fact, I would say, and I messaged you and told you, I think it's one of the most boring two-stop races I've ever seen. That being said, it was still pretty engaging to an extent, and an incredible drive by Verstappen, somewhat with Hamilton as well to keep up. And maybe we can talk about Checo later, Checo Perez without his water, but he will not have the drink. But yeah, I don't know. Like in terms of strategy, I don't think it was as good as Catalonia this year in Spain or Paul Ricard in France. I don't think it was as good. But
yeah,
what do you think, mate?
it was an okay race. Like it's also one of those ones where I wouldn't mind of just watching the whole thing later on, if that makes sense. Like I don't think there was any need to actually watch it live. Not to say that there's actually any need to watch any of them really live, but like at least I wanted, like I felt a little tinge of regret after this one, considering it was in the
because you
morning.
could have slept more. That's why you got to get up early.
No.
Get used to getting up early, but then you just like fall asleep when you want to watch the other ones.
That's true. But I think overall it was. If it had more, like I think this can be said for a lot of races, but if it had a few more laps, maybe it could have gotten a bit exciting towards
with
the end as
Hamilton
well.
and Verstappen.
Yeah.
Or if that battle happened after the first stint or right after the second stint or more of that battle in the actual Grand Prix, I think.
Yeah. And I guess that comes down to how powerful, I guess, the pit stops were. Like
the undercut. That's what I was going to mention. Yeah, the undercut was insane. And look, it kind of makes sense, right? Like it's hot surface temperature, so tire degradation. I don't know if it's tire degradation or tire wear, either, or if they're the same thing. I don't know enough about tires, but because of the reduction in performance of the tires, as well as the fact that the racetrack has like 20 or 21 corners, the undercut where you pit first is going to be super powerful. So you have fresh tires and you're able to take those corners at a much greater speed, right? Yeah. Where I think an overcut, which is where you pit second, could be better at track maybe like Monza, where you can still manage that. But just a thought. Obviously, it varies based on many different factors, but that's just a thought of mine.
Yeah, I agree. Like it was. Like the fact that I think Hamilton's second stint pit stop was like 4/10 faster than Verstappen's, and he still came across like
and he was still like 6 seconds behind or something.
Yeah,
and mind you, how many laps? Do you remember how many laps difference there was between Verstappen's pit stop and then Hamilton's pit stop after?
I can tell you that.
I know the second one there was like 7 or 8 laps.
Hamilton's second stop Verstappen's second stop was at lap 29.
No, the first stop, I mean.
First stop. So for Verstappen's first stop was at lap 10. Hamilton's was at lap 13.
So 3-lap difference. So 3-lap difference and a 6-second gap, like 2 seconds a lap. That's pretty incredible. Like that's a big gap. And Hamilton and Verstappen are both amazingly fast. So yeah, I think track position was key, which Red Bull got correct today, and the undercut is super powerful. So yeah, there you go.
I think it was just one of those classic races where it was exciting in the beginning of it, major lull in the middle of it.
Yeah,
and
then got really exciting towards the end.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree. A shame there wasn't actually any DRS battling or anything close to that. Like that would have been really fun. Really cool to watch, especially if that was like for like 5, even 10 laps, and like imagine they just like overtake each other and keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
That's true.
But anyway, should we start from the beginning?
Sure. Yeah.
So there was no boom. The incident didn't happen. So one of them went on and won. And it turns out it was the pole person, Max Verstappen. So that's good. I will say, though, I did tell you this before, but it's weird. I've found the national anthem actually really, like, it seemed to chill down my spine. Maybe because, the Americans, they love to go crazy. And, like, towards the end of their national anthem, they all start cheering and screaming and going crazy. And then the Chinooks and the Apaches that the helicopters flew over. And there was the parachuters with the flag. I don't know. It seemed like very patriotic. And I'm not trying to say anything about America or anything, but just it sent a shiver down my spine. I was like, oh, this is okay. G up, let's go.
Yeah, it was definitely more fancy than, I guess, like the other ones around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. Well, especially the Russian one. Well, mind you, the Russian Russia, they had a ballet dancer because they can't play the national anthem because of the Russian issues. Anyway, moving on. But I remember they had a ballet dancer. She was very good, but I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. Forget it. This isn't going anywhere. Good start from Hamilton, which was good. So got off the line, got the lead, nice work. But then obviously didn't regain the lead because Verstappen took both the undercuts with both pit stops. So good for him. Do you know who sent it into Latifi? Or because Latifi said like, oh, one of the Haas's, screwed up. Was it Mick Schumacher or Nikita Mazepin? It was one of the others. Sure. They both started back there.
No. I think with Latifi, it was Stroll.
It was Stroll, but I remember on his radio there was someone that came up the inside and just sent it out of nowhere. So if this is Latifi here coming up and about to turn like that, Stroll's on the outside and he hits Stroll because some car from freaking nowhere just goes, hi there. And hello there.
Are you General thinking Kenobi. Of your thing? Aren't you thinking about like Ocon and someone else?
No, that's a similar incident as well with one of the Alfa Romeos. But that did happen with Latifi. I remember that. It's in the highlights too. I just watched the highlights as well, and Latifi's like, stupid Haas. Who was that? What a banana. So, But anyway, whatever. Moving on. Look, again, as we said, great race from Max. I think he did a really good job, Max Verstappen. That was good. It was a good race.
I think it was a clean race, like good pits. Like it wasn't bad pit stops and
just
everything.
Just good strategy.
Well. Yeah.
Good calls, which was actually surprising because when it was like 30 or I think when Verstappen made his second pit stop, I was like, oh, is this too early? Seems a little too early, but it worked, managed to work. So more power to them. And the crowd is always, the crowd, I don't know if it's always been good, but it was really good here.
There is something to that though, because I was reading today that apparently it could have been like the largest crowd in history or something.
So I heard and saw in the broadcast that I think it was 140 or 160,000 people there on Sunday at the event, which is great. That's awesome. But over the weekend, it was a total of 400,000 people. 400,000 people. That's insane. So if that's representative of the US market exploding, so I don't know if it's representative because I remember saying the 2020 race was supposed to be there was canned, but whoever purchased tickets for that race got to retain them and keep their seats. So there's obviously for this season, there's a limited number of seats. But I think that's right. If I'm wrong, sorry. If I'm right, cool. But if that's representative of the US market growing, then that, invest in Liberty Media.
If only you could, couldn't you?
Is it a private company?
I think it is. As far as I know, it's not a public company. It's not that I've looked.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like it's interesting to see, and I guess one of those aspects could be that the Drive to Survive series is
for sure. For sure.
It's become. I think it was a big thing when it first came out, but I think even last season was even bigger. Yeah,
it just keeps getting bigger and bigger because
word considering
of mouth,
that Netflix's audience is Netflix's largest audience obviously is American. So I guess there is something to it, and I guess that's why that partnership will continue as long as they possibly can, even though it seems a few drivers aren't too interested in it. But yeah,
or aren't shown at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's really cool. I think it's great.
I think it was just one of those crowds where you don't want to hear like booing for drivers and stuff, regardless of if they've won a billion times or whatever. It's just not right. And I think it was nice to see that, at least from what we saw on the broadcast, it seemed like a generally positive like atmosphere coming out of that whole thing.
Circuit of the America. Well, someone did a shoey. That's awesome. Okay, sure. But it was cool. Yeah, it just seemed like a cool, fun weekend to be there. A shame the race wasn't as exciting as maybe it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still maybe have to watch it again, but I still think the race was a little dull throughout it. Like, I could, like, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's getting a bit dull, no action, and especially because, like, because the modern cars produce so much dirty air, dirty wake, so aerodynamic influence on the car behind is, influences it massively and reduces their downforce. Unless it becomes difficult to get close to the cars, right? And when you see, like, between each, like on the interval on the, what's the thing on the left side of the screen? Like, it's like it just shows, well, anyway, it shows the name of the driver, their team, and obviously the interval between the leader and the rest of the drivers. I don't know what it's called, like a tower or something, like the standing tower. But the difference between each driver was there was no one, like, it was rare that there was a case where it was under a second. And it was even, so like most of the gaps were like 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 20 seconds difference. And it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to show? Right? You only really, like I noticed with the TV broadcast, it only shows something when there's less than a second difference, which obviously makes sense, right? Because that's probably where the action's going to occur. Either that or you show the lead. But after the first pit stop, Hamilton was 6 seconds behind, and just that gap never closed. And it's just like, it's not on the edge. Like I think of Monza, right, where Ricciardo's in the lead and Verstappen's right behind. It's like less than a second or just thereabouts, right, for the first like 20 laps, and you're just on the edge of your seat, like so excited, nervous, like, wow, this is great, so close. Like, anything can happen at any moment. And that's why I love live sport, because anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it was just one of those things. Like, I think, like it just one of those unavoidable things that just happened. I think we've said
it's an inherent issue of the modern designed Formula One car, which hopefully gets resolved next year. Would you agree?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know if it will, but I think a lot of people are hoping that it will. But
yeah, me too. I am as well. Or if anything, it just closes the gap even more so than what it has closed to now, which would be nice.
That's
because
true.
I'd like to see, and good segue, I'd like to see Ferrari and McLaren get up there, because they had a great battle.
Yeah.
Well, when they were battling. I don't want to contradict myself too much. But yeah, I mean, I think we said going into this, I thought McLaren would have the edge over Ferrari this weekend. It turns out it was the other way around. And I guess we thought Mercedes would have the edge over Red Bull, but it was the other way around. Like, okay, it's like, just can't predict it. Oh, it's so good.
That is true. Like, yeah, I guess there are, like, I think there's some things that may have gone wrong with Mercedes this weekend. I think they were saying, who knows if this is true? Everything is mind games at this point. I think they were saying that they essentially tried a different setup and they discovered that it was the wrong way. So
I think I remember hearing this as well from one of their technical officers. I think it's James Allison. I think the person's name is. Like, he was mentioning that free practice one, they had a fantastic setup. They were good, and then as the sessions progressed, they couldn't retain that speed, or they couldn't improve on that speed where other teams could, like Red Bull.
Yeah,
and so they just never capitalized and got to the best performance that they could. Interesting.
So yeah, who knows? Maybe it's just one of those things. Like lots of people say that Mercedes didn't. Well, not lots of people, but there are some people that say that the Mercedes new engine power thing is being overblown, and it's just that Red Bull screwed up big time in Turkey. That's all. So
okay.
so it could
Maybe.
be. It could just be something like that. But as outsiders, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Mind you, I don't know how much. So this is a random note. I don't know how much because you can't develop the engines, obviously, and I don't know how much adding reliability parts will make a difference. But I think I saw a video over the weekend on F1's YouTube channel. It's like F1 Tech Talk, which I love. Right, super cool. Go into detail about the car, and I'm mentioning something about subtle improvements to the engine that are not expected but occur because you want to change things for reliability. Anyway, I'm waffling. Talk about that another time. Let's move on. Unless you want to talk about that. Cool. Ferrari, McLaren, back to it. They were good. That was good, especially lap 1. That was pretty intense, which was good. And then Ricciardo defending from Sainz. That was pretty good for those few laps that happened. It was kind of like a brick wall, which was good. Just a wall. Nah, you're not coming through. It's like the memes of like the cars where they're just like super wide, like Giga Kubica.
But I think it was especially those like that opening lap where it was like Sainz and then Lando was on the inside, I think. And then Ricciardo was on the outside, I believe. It was a bit interesting in the moments. Like you're like,
true. What's gonna happen? But it all worked out. But it was good. I mean, yeah, it was good. Leclerc had super pace. Oh my goodness! Like he was just see you later.
That's true.
Which was good for him, but would have been nice to see a longer battle. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what the championship is now. I think McLaren are still ahead. Just maybe.
Not too sure, actually.
I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. What else do I have? Okay, unlucky for Esteban Ocon. I don't know where he started. Where did Ocon start? He hold on. I'm just looking at qualifying, but unfortunately,
Ocon started. Great. Hold on.
He started. Ocon 11th.
Started.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11th.
Qualifying didn't make it to Q3, even though he got the toe from Alonso. That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, I just didn't think Alpine had the pace this weekend, but whatever. Unlucky. I don't know what the issue was. Do you remember what the issue was for his retirement? Engine power, I think. Yeah.
Well.
No, it was back of the car.
They haven't really said what it is, but I guess there could have been a serious issue, or that their other thing is they're going to get a free transmission.
Thing?
Like,
yeah.
Like if I guess what was Ocon before he retired?
Don't recall.
So like maybe they were like, it's in such a low position. Who cares?
I don't think it was that low. I think it was still the potential to gain points if things worked in their favor. But no, I don't think they did. I think for Alonso, maybe they did that. So I remember Alonso saying on the radio, retire the car, but I don't remember what he said, the reason why to retire it. But yeah.
That's true. So like we don't actually, maybe it's possible that both cars had some serious issues or something.
Likely. And I did mention it was from the rear of the car. So maybe rear suspension, or maybe something to do with, the vibrations, the gearbox wasn't ideal or something.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Gasly retired. Poor guy.
Oh. Yeah, the guy couldn't catch a break.
He just couldn't.
He had sensor issues, and then he had
sensor issues on the grid, and then retired early on. He had what's it called? I think he started 9th, just ahead of his teammate, and then dropped behind Tsunoda, and then
he started 8th because of the grid penalties and everything.
Apologies, for Valtteri Bottas.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, but by the way, Hamilton's fastest lap. Did you see that? Like when that happened, I think Perez it was like a 39.5 or something. Yeah. And then Hamilton just like, see you later, 38.4.
Yeah, like pretty much
1 seconds faster. Like, what? Where did that come from? Okay. It's pretty good. I mean, good driver. But there you go.
Pretty impressive pace.
Yeah, incredible pace. But apart from that, I don't know. Was it fastest lap? Yeah, it was.
Is it 134.7? Was it? Yeah.
And Verstappen's fastest lap was a 139.0.
Yeah.
39. Yeah. Okay. And Leclerc had the third fastest lap, 39.3. Yeah, like he had super pace.
Yeah, it seems like the Ferraris have some decent pace.
It does indeed.
It's nice to see after last year.
Yeah, it is. You are correct. All right. Well, I've got no other talking points.
Yeah. Well, I think there's nothing really to talk about, is there? We have to rate our drivers.
It was nice to see famous people there, like Shaq on the podium, and Ben Stiller as well, and Serena. I think Serena Williams was there, and a rapper I haven't heard of, and some NBA players. It was nice. It's good, but
yeah,
I guess like it just influences more and grows the sport, which I think is cool.
Yeah, because I guess it brings people that may necessarily not know about F1 or like into that sport via like their social media circles kind of thing. So
yeah, fair point.
A good thing.
Yeah, I agree. And Liberty Media, is it a public traded company? I don't know.
It might be, but...
Yeah, I think it is. From what I can see. Yeah,
buy the stocks.
Maybe might be a good idea.
Who knows?
I have to follow that a bit more. All right, should we rate the drivers then? Do our usual rating thing.
Yes. Let me bring up positions finished. All right.
Cool, you got them?
Yeah.
Hamilton. Good race.
Yeah.
Took the lead. Didn't do the undercut. Maybe you could have done the undercut with his team, retained the lead, and maybe could have fought more. Maybe could have caught Verstappen a bit more at the end. I don't know. But he was ahead. I think he had an 8-second deficit with like 15 laps to go or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can't blame the guy. Like he did
everything he could have. He could, but maybe he could have got a bit closer. But that being said, tyres were going off, and I think it's notoriously hard to follow through the first sector because of the S's, right?
That's true.
Are they S's or are they like Maggots and Beckett's from?
I think they're more S's, aren't they? Because Maggots and Beckett's is like one like sharp corner and then another sharp corner.
Yeah, I don't know, one or the other, whatever it is, but whatever. Okay, and then it was difficult to get to the DRS zone, I guess. But he did a good job.
Yeah,
started well, qualified second. 8. Oh, interesting. Ooh. Why not an 8?
Actually, no. I'm just considering what we could give Verstappen, and
He's
I guess.
a 10.
Well, no. Well, remember we classified a 10 as all 3. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Verstappen gets a 9 then.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, that's done. Verstappen 9.
Like Hamilton. Yeah, I think
he's an 8. It's a pretty good drive from second to second.
Yeah, like I'm just wondering if he deserves a
challenge, 9. And not putting anything off Checo Perez. I know he had a drink problem, but they were 40 seconds ahead of third place, who was Checo Perez. Like,
yeah, that's true. That being said, that guy looked like he had gone to hell and back by the time he got out of the car.
Very fair point. Very fair point. So I think it's an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering if he deserves a 9, but I guess he didn't get a win. So
interesting. Yeah, and he didn't get pole either.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
was he fastest in practice? I don't know. I don't know.
I think in FP2 maybe, but
okay. So probably that. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Actually, no, they weren't. He beat Bottas, but they weren't the fastest.
Okay. That doesn't.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Speaking of Valtteri Bottas. Started 9th, finished 6th, I think.
Yeah, so 3 positions gained.
They couldn't pass Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren, Leclerc's Ferrari, who we said had mega pace, and obviously Checo Perez had a drink problem, but the same speed car. Do you think maybe he was 4 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo crossing the finish line? And 22 seconds behind Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, like thing is though, like you consider the cars that he was up against this time, right? Even if that Mercedes has amazing pace, he's still up against like a fairly decent bunch. Like he was up against Tsunoda, Norris, and Sainz, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what do you think then? 7?
Yeah, I think a 7's fair. Like pretty fair.
I mean, the penalty wasn't his fault. Maybe it was his fault because it was, he screwed up an engine, but we'll never know that. Maybe it's just reliability of the team's engine.
Yeah.
Mind you, it is a team sport.
Mm.
Even though it's the drivers of the, I don't know. I'm happy to give it a 7. That's fine.
Yeah.
7 for 77. All right. Perez. Well, considering he almost took pole, actually, I think there was a couple of tenths in it, but looked like he could have taken pole. That was pretty good. I imagine the majority of the drivers drank their water throughout the race because I think the air temperature was like 30 degrees, like pretty warm.
Yeah, and like it was also like Celsius fairly humid, if I remember correctly. So
it looked pretty humid. A lot of clouds around, so I can imagine.
And like humidity doesn't help with not having water. So
no, well, that's an interesting. How does humidity affect the aerodynamics? But anyway, moving on.
It is like cutting through butter. That's pretty much what it becomes.
Cutting through air and water. So I think, is it the same grade as Hamilton or the same grade as Bottas? Because it's an 8 or a 7 for me. It's not a 9.
Look, I don't know. I want to say an 8 because it was.
I do too. 8. It's done.
Yeah, it's he deserves it, I think.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job this weekend. Yeah, good pace. Mr. Norris.
Yeah.
Behind Ricciardo this weekend, qualified behind, he finished 8th. Not too bad. Not too bad. Still on the lead lap as well, which is good. But mind you, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and Red Bull were all on the lead lap. Everyone else wasn't. And we kind of expect that because I think Red Bull, Mercedes are here. Maybe one or they rotate, and Ferrari and McLaren are just here, and then everyone else is down here. Didn't beat his teammate in qualifying. Didn't beat his teammate in the race. Still got some good points. He's now
he's fourth
in the Drivers' Championship. Like he was third, now he's 4th, I think.
Something like that, I think. One standings, drivers.
I think.
I know he's 5th. He's 5th.
Oh, he's 5th. Sorry, Paul.
He's 1 point behind Perez.
Yeah, because Checo Perez has overtaken him. Yeah. So what? 6?
Yeah. Like
I think Ricciardo gets a 7.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, 6 and 7, especially since Norris has been on fire this season. So, yeah, but Ricciardo beat him. Leclerc gets like a 8 or 9 for sure.
Yeah, I think an 8's fair for him.
He did have incredible pace though.
But mate, do you think his race was equivalent to Verstappen's though?
He finished 10 seconds behind Perez, who's in a much faster car. Right? Yeah, sure, 52 seconds behind the leader, Verstappen. But next after him was Daniel Ricciardo, who was 52, 60, 72, 24 seconds behind him.
Yeah. That being said,
24 seconds is like a lifetime, mate. He's getting like an 8 or 9. I think he gets a 9. That was great.
Oh, I don't know. I like the thing is, arguably, like some drivers have said that Coda is kind of hard to like overtake at, and on top, but he started 4th. He finished 4th. He did have a really good race, but at the same time, did he have as equivalent of a race as say Verstappen? Because with the 9, you're putting him up there with Verstappen.
Yeah, but the car is significantly less, and the distance he put between is incredible. I'm saying a 9.
If only we had half marks, but okay, that's good. What happens if you average 8?
What's up to you? 9. What's the average of 9 and 8? Oh, well, if we round up, it's a 9.
Oh. all right, a 9 it is.
I'm giving it a 9. That was awesome. Good on him. That was cool. Didn't see anything from him, but from the statistics there, great work.
Yeah.
Sainz, unlucky with the soft tyre. Still did pretty well. I would give him probably the same Oh, do I want to give him the same grade as Norris or the same grade as Ricciardo? A 6 or a 7? You got no response, do you?
I want to go with I think a 6 is fair, because if we were to kind of ding Lando for his performance this weekend and kind of being behind his teammate this weekend, we kind of have to do the same thing for him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. But yeah, fair enough. But he did do a good job, especially. Oh, mind you, he started on the soft tyres and dropped a position. So
yeah, he kind of was screwed from the beginning with his strategy. Kind of. Considering he only spent 11 laps on his softs, he was kind of screwed from the beginning. But
it's a fair point. Fair point. All right, 6 it is. Fair enough. Alonso. Well, questionable overtakes.
Yeah, but can you hate on him for that?
Pushes him out to the line, and I don't think anyone today is really just going to yield. Okay, fine, especially on a track where they know it's difficult to overtake because of so many factors like heat, and also the layout of the track and the rough nature of it and the tires. Ended up retiring. Don't know why he retired, but I know he mentioned he wanted to retire. Where did he qualify? Let's check that. He qualified 14th. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, he started 19th. My bad.
Qualified 14th, started 19th because of the penalty. So he beat George Russell, but he didn't beat Sebastian Vettel. And I would argue that Alpine is probably faster than the Aston Martin in terms of qualifying. That I'm referring to qualifying, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember it was between Russell, Alonso, and Vettel. Whoever qualified the best started 18th and then 19th, 20th, respectively.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think the Williams is the slowest of those cars. I think the Aston Martin is in the middle and the Alpine is the top. So I think he should have qualified better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that being said, considering he just had his penalty, there was no real reason to qualify better.
Yeah.
Because he was going to go to the back of the grid anyway.
Vettel.
Yeah. You
started one place ahead. And then he was not classified, so he DNF'd on lap 49, so 7 laps from the end. 5 or 4?
Yeah, but theoretically he gained 1 position by DNFing when he did so.
No. I mean, DNF's always bad. I'm thinking of 4.
Really? I don't know. He brought something to the race, though, didn't he? But with his
all right, sure,
antics?
He brought some excitement. Fair enough, 5. He brought some talking points. That's a fair point. But it's just I don't think it was that great.
Yeah. I think he could have. I don't think that Alpine deserves to be fighting. Nothing against the Alfa Romeo, but I don't think that's point. It's not a car that should be down there. If that makes sense.
Arguably. Or maybe the drivers just the worst, haven't scored points. Either way. 5 done. Ocon qualified better. DNF'd because the issue at the rear of the car, which we still don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really remember his race that well, so I don't remember what was happening.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was covered much.
So maybe I think give him a 5 as well.
Yeah. Oh, do we give him? Oh, no.
Well, I'm not giving the same grade as Norris and Sainz.
Yeah. He also got a toe from Alonso for his quali, so.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Gasly?
Mr. Position 6 himself. I know.
Mr. Unlucky. But again, it's team sport, it's team car. I don't know.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He qualified well.
9th, actually. Just beat his teammate. Now, what was the difference? It was just under a 10th difference between Tsunoda and Gasly. He did beat his teammate, but well done to Tsunoda for getting in the 10.
Well, if you consider,
right? Oh no, apologies, sorry. I'm looking at Q1 times. Q3, no, okay. He was 8/10 ahead of Tsunoda in Q3. Fair enough.
Yeah, the thing is, if you consider that, if we were to say Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren at the top 4.
I'm missing the front digit. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Yeah, forget everything I just said about the differences. There was about 8/10 difference pretty much throughout qualifying. So, Gasly did really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and also considering that there's top 4, like the top 4 teams were in the top 4 position, top 8 position. Sorry,
Yeah,
top 8 positions. Yeah, what am I talking?
So he's best of the.
He is technically the best of the rest. Yeah,
best of Formula 1.5.
Yeah,
F1 Red Bull Mercedes. F1.25. Try. Yeah. So qualified well. Had unlucky start. Everything. I don't know. 6.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah, because I think
7 and 6 for Tsunoda because Tsunoda did an alright race and scored some points.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Maybe give them both a 7 actually.
No, I think 6 and 7 are fair. So
7
6 for Gasly,
6 for Tsunoda. You mean?
Oh,
I was
thinking the other way around.
Ooh, that's interesting.
But at the same time, if you look at it, I forget what Gasly was running when he retired, though. So
yeah, I don't know. I think it was either just at the end of the. I'm assuming he was just at the very tail end of the points, or just outside of the points, which would make sense. Tsunoda did get ahead of him at the beginning. I'm pretty sure, though. Pretty sure. Could be wrong.
That's just taking a look. Give me 1 second. Gasly.
Your time is up. No, all good. But I'm thinking 6 and 7.
I think so. I think it seems that Gasly was maybe 16. I don't know, from the broadcast at least, when they first started him showing like slowing down. It seemed like maybe he was 16th, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
So yeah, maybe, no, that doesn't make sense. The slowing down happened before that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So Gasly excelled in qualifying. Tsunoda did well in the race. Maybe just give him a pair of 7s each.
Yeah.
Like good qualifying, good race. Like factors outside of the driver, but it is a team sport.
That's true.
Reliability is a bit unlucky. Do you want to classify reliability into these grades?
Well, if you were to say it's a team sport, then I guess reliability. Yeah, well, then reliability comes into it. But at the same time,
I didn't do well with Bottas. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not. I don't think it's fair to blame a race result on reliability, if that makes sense. Or mark a person against reliability, because there's something that's technically out of the team's control and technically out of the driver's control as well.
Yeah, no, understandable. Fair enough. Let me just see the results for Tsunoda. Tsunoda finished 9th. Okay.
Yeah, they started 10th. So
and the car's probably best of the rest. So yeah, I'm gonna give them both a pair of 6s.
Yeah.
Done. Aston Martins. Oof, I don't even know. Vettel got a point. Nice work. Yeah.
Well, Vettel, I think, deserves a 7 for that.
Stroll got a. That's interesting. Why?
Because he had a fairly decent race in a car that it didn't seem that car was that pacey.
He did overtake a few cars, yeah. Fair enough.
It didn't seem that car was that pacey. Let's consider that Stroll didn't have
a great race at all.
And he didn't qualify great either. And he
qualified towards the back, didn't he?
Yeah. And his grid position was 13th after all the penalties.
He qualified 16th.
Yeah. So, look, there are other circumstances
Russell beat him. Obviously, his teammate beat him.
Yeah. I don't think it's entirely his fault, if that makes sense. I think timing might have come into that. I don't think it was just like a...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it might have just been like a Daniel Ricciardo situation kind of thing from Turkey kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
But at the same time, Vettel still overtook 8 cars in this race.
Yeah, he's leading the championship for the most overtakes.
Yeah, only just though. Alonso's close behind. He is. Alonso's on 100 and Vettel's on 102. So
yes, 2 overtakes behind. I was about to say that. Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to give them?
I think Vettel's a 7.
Like the Alpines.
I want to. Or
pair of 6s like the Alpha Tauris.
I think a 6 is a bit more fair in that sense. Yeah.
I think Vettel was 6, Stroll 5.
Yeah, considering all his he had contact with Latifi as well, worse,
and he didn't get points. Yeah. Vettel 6, Stroll 5, Russell, Latifi. Let's go. GR63 started finished 14th.
He started
20th, beat Latifi, beat the Haas's, and then the other cars DNF'd.
Yeah.
So beat his teammate. That's kind of standard, I guess. Sorry, Nicholas Latifi. But
you could argue that the fact that...
And didn't beat any of the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, but you could argue that he finished 14th and his teammate finished 15th. Shows that car kind of deserved to be there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, true. But we kind of expect the Williams to be a little better than the Alfa Romeo now, don't we?
I guess. But like those things are so like track dependent and like setup dependent. If you screwed that setup up, like...
I think they get the same grades as the Alpines, pair of fives.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think. Or does Russell get something slightly better?
Ooh, if we were to give...
Qualifying.
Not really. If you consider
he qualified 15th. Didn't set a lap time in Q2. Latifi qualified 17th.
And he So
Latifi's fastest lap in Q1 was a 35.9. And Russell's fastest lap was a 35.7. So 0.2. So not a major difference at all.
And on top of that...
especially since we know there's been massive differences before.
That's true. And like Russell started 20th, right? So like... considering the cars that he had to overtake to come to 14th, or like
classified as 17th, right? Because the three DNFs. So he overtook 3 cars, 2 Haas's and his teammate.
Yeah, guess so. Yeah, I think a 5 is fair for both of them.
I just don't know if I should give something more for Russell, but we expect more from Russell, right?
But should we? Like, I think that's kind of. I think that's.
This is. I don't know. Let's move on. What's the time? Okay, let's move on. All right, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. Raikkonen qualified terribly. He finished behind his teammate in 13th.
Yeah.
Giovinazzi had some battles, some collisions maybe with Alonso, and then got the place back and then was overtaken by the Alpine, but the Alpine's probably faster.
Yeah.
Giovinazzi qualified decently, qualified 13th, where Raikkonen qualified 18th, so he made it to Q2. How far was he off? Yeah, he was a major way off going anywhere.
Yeah.
Next best car was Vettel, who was 2.5 tenths, just almost 3 tenths faster. So, yeah, but it's the Alfa Romeo, right? We consider it the second best, the 9th best car on the grid. So, yeah, I don't think it was too bad, right?
I think.
So, so without the DNFs, he's 14th, and Raikkonen is 16th.
Yeah.
Kind of where we expect them. What do you think? I think Giovinazzi gets a slightly higher grade than Raikkonen. I'm thinking Raikkonen 5, Giovinazzi 6.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right. Cool beans. And the Haas's in their home race. Okay. We didn't really talk about Mazepin, did we? He had a shocker. Oh my goodness!
Some of it wasn't really his fault, but like
fair point. You did bring that to my attention. Yes, with the headrest, so headrest issue, but which counts for a fair amount of time. But he was 55 seconds behind his teammate, who was the second car in front of, or the car just in front of him on lap 27.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you take I forget how long's the pit stop?
20 seconds. Right?
Yeah,
so 20,
so
approximately 20 seconds.
Even if you take out he had something that wasn't his fault.
Let's say
he's still 30 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Which is pretty substantial.
He's still like 25, 30 seconds behind. Coming into the race.
And the thing is, we haven't and if you look back at the last few years or whatever, you see for example, you have Kubica, who is a good driver, but he was getting beaten by Russell, right? And
every race, he qualified all the time, except for Germany 2019, where Russell got the point. Giga Kubica got the point.
but the thing is, those gaps were never that big, if I remember correctly. Maybe my memory's failing.
No, they were pretty big. I remember.
Were they?
They were pretty decent. Yeah, some of them were like a second or so. I don't know about race pace. apologies. I don't know about race. I think there was a certain gap. I don't know if it was that. It may have been similar actually, but I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I can't. So
yeah,
I
let's not comment on that because
yeah, we can't remember.
Yeah, we can't remember. But yeah, it's not a good look, I guess, to like be outclassed by your teammate by that much.
A significant margin like that. And he pitted 4 times where Mick Schumacher pitted 3 times, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mick Schumacher nearly, he probably could have had a bit of a better race.
Yeah.
He got in kind of questionable about not blocking, but not moving out of the way for the leaders towards the end. Questionable.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really hard. I'm thinking like Mick Schumacher. I almost said Michael Schumacher. Mick Schumacher gets like a 5 or 4, and Mazepin gets a 2 or 3.
But is it fair to put them in the same like places like as Alonso? Like for example, you put in Mick where Alonso.
To be fair, the car's that much worse.
That's true. Yeah, it's such an issue to like grade people.
It's super difficult. That's why it's so subjective, and that's why it's our thoughts and whatever.
When the car's like perpetually like the car's perpetual like positions should be like 19th and 20th, unless people DNF. So,
and they were pretty much last, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they started 16th and 17th because of
they were
penalties.
Both classified as 2 laps behind, but we know that there was a massive difference.
Yeah.
Schumacher was only 2 laps behind because I think Verstappen and Hamilton lapped him like on the second last or last lap.
Yeah.
Mazepin was lapped a while before that.
I want to say I would give Mick a 4. Oh, actually, no, it's not fair considering how that car is. So let's give him a 5.
I'd give Mick Schumacher a 5 and Mazepin a 3.
5s, yeah. Oh, was Mazepin that bad?
Yep, it's pretty bad.
Really?
Well, okay, sure. Rely like headrest or something, but pitting 4 times too. Like he would have got fresh tires on the first one, which probably actually wouldn't have made much of a difference, right? Because he pitted like really early on. So let's say he pitted the same. All right, give him a 4.
Let's see. Yeah, like because he did like 1 lap, so he came back in before the lap ended, and then he did a hard until lap 24. Then he did a soft, and then I don't know, and then he went back on
soft for.
Not a soft, medium.
Okay.
So he went
all right
from medium. But he did 2 mediums at the end. So he did like lap 24. He got a new medium
after the hard.
And then lap 37, he went on to a used medium.
Okay.
I don't know why you would do that.
Maybe they didn't have any hards left.
Yeah, but like that's such a short amount of time. But that's not even 10 laps. Or they're just over 10 laps.
24 and 37, is that right?
Yeah.
So 13?
Yeah. That's not a lot of laps on a medium. Like if you looked at what Pirelli said.
Especially a new medium. But the car is terrible.
And the thing is, he did more laps on the used medium than he did on the new medium. So he must have
lighter fuel. But does that make that much of a difference? And I guess Trek's will rub it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe he flat spotted the tires, right?
Yeah, so there might have been a mistake somewhere in there.
Probably. And to be fair, that car looks very difficult to drive from what...
That's true.
Oh, not necessarily from what I've seen, but from everything else I've watched and everyone that's an expert says. Because we are not experts. But yeah.
We would like to think we're experts.
Well, we totally are. We're super expert, super experts. That's why we rate the drivers, because we're professionals. We are
better than Lewis Hamilton. That's what it is.
All right, I think wrap it up. Mick Schumacher a 5, Mazepin a 4.
Yeah,
done. Okay, so Hamilton 8, Bottas 7, Verstappen 9, Perez 8, Norris 6, Ricciardo 7, Leclerc 9. Great drive. Sainz 6, Alonso 5, Ocon 5, Gasly 6, Tsunoda 6, Vettel 6, Stroll 5, Russell 5, Latifi 5, Raikkonen 5, Giovinazzi 6, Schumacher 5, Mazepin 4.
Sounds good. Nice. Well,
You want to predict Mexico?
we'll predict.
I
Mexico.
don't, because look, I thought Mercedes were going to win, and nope.
Who knows? With the way this is going, the Red Bull track's going to become a Mercedes
Haas
track.
is going to win in Mexico.
Who knows?
Because I don't know.
But we will come back to that when.
Although to be fair, because Mexico is a high altitude track where high downforce is required to get the same amount of downforce, and it appears from what I've heard and read, but I can't confirm, that Red Bull have a higher downforce package. Red Bull will be more successful in Mexico.
Yeah, well, historically, Red Bull's been good at high downforce.
Mexico,
if I remember correctly. Like even
high altitude circuits, yeah.
Yeah, like Mexico's been like a Red Bull stomping ground for a while. So
yeah. All right. Last thing. Don't take this the wrong way. Oh, and I think Ferrari will probably beat McLaren in Mexico, and then the rest I don't know. Sorry, everyone else. I think I don't want the championship to run away with Max now.
I get you. I get what you mean, but at the same time, it's difficult, right? Because
it's totally difficult.
Because the thing is, there's so many uncertainties that can come in, and like the thing is, like if you were to tell someone at the beginning of this year, like, just consider if Silverstone and Hungary didn't happen, right? Theoretically, Max should be in the lead with the even bigger lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Max Verstappen has been fantastic this season, and arguably, I think deserves to win it more than Hamilton. Debatably, based on the performances he's led, like just the statistic of more laps led than everyone else.
Exactly, and I think
just his team and him are on fire.
And I think whilst it's nice for whilst it's nice that this championship could go down the wire, I think Red Bull, now that they have a lead, they're going to try everything they can to kind of extend that lead.
Yeah,
because we don't have a lot of races to go.
Five left. Wow, this has gone like that.
That's true, and
it's been so good. I'm so happy to get to watch it. So good.
And the thing we don't know is that, say, if like Mexico might be a Red Bull track, but arguably some of the other tracks have been, like Coda, have been better for Mercedes, and we don't know what they'll do. Like, what if Mercedes reacts? Like, Mercedes said, yeah, we're not doing an upgrade package, but if they're like, okay, yeah, so we don't know. These guys are master manipulators and master thinkers. So
master manipulator, yeah.
So,
all right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to go.
Sounds good. And well, we'll see. We'll see Mexico. What happens in Mexico?
I'm not going to Mexico. I can't get out of the country
yet. We'll see you virtually in Mexico. Get your background as Mexico.
Oh yeah, Mexican flag. Yeah, I'll just have Checo in the background as well. Oh well, good job. Right. Yeah. All right.